Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And here we have a great article from RCR Wireless. I will leave it in the description down below. So the main topic is, what does the next chapter of wireless growth look like for Verizon, T-Mobile, and AT&T? So in this video, I want to strictly talk about Verizon on that topic. And then I'll make part 2 and part 3 about T-Mobile and about AT&T. So Verizon has a very interesting issue, right? And it's mostly the management team, or I should say Hans Vestberg, being stubborn. They don't have a competitive edge to them. They just don't. They don't compete. They think of themselves, oh, we have the best network. We're high and mighty. You can't touch us. And that's just what it is. And that's the approach that they've taken. When they continuously say on these quarterly earnings, on these conferences, that they're taking that premium approach, that's what they're telling us. That's what they're telling. When they say that they're taking the high road and they're going premium, that's what they're telling us. That they're high and mighty, that their network is untouchable, can nobody touch it. That's what they're telling us by taking the premium approach. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you it has not worked. And even as of recent, as Hans Vestberg was telling the investors, the shareholders, the board members, that you need to judge us on revenue, not growth, that has backfired too, because they didn't hit their revenues in the first quarter. So what's next for the company, right? The next chapter of wireless growth. And it's not fixed wireless access. It can't be. It's a very small portion of profits and revenue that the company's making. Even when they get to the 4 to 5 million, it's not going to produce anything groundbreaking, right? Wireless is still majority of the bread winner. It's wireless. So moving forward, they have to shift strategies. They have to lead with wireless and then grow fixed wireless access. It shouldn't be the other way around. If they grow wireless first, fixed wireless access will become successful on its own. But so far, percentage-wise, we have not seen that in the numbers. Wireless has not been growing. Fixed wireless access has been growing. So people are getting fixed wireless access, but they're not getting Verizon as their wireless provider. And yes, there are some existing accounts that are already on wireless that are attaching fixed wireless access. I get that too. But there are a percentage, and I don't know what that percentage is, but there's a percentage of customers that are non-Verizon wireless customers that are getting fixed wireless access that Verizon is not able to convert. And if they were doing that, we would see a difference in numbers on wireless, and Verizon would be disclosing that at their quarterly earnings. They would be telling us, hey, we had about 10% of the fixed wireless access base that we converted to wireless. They would be proudly telling us that, because it would lead to some type of momentum on the wireless side. But that has not happened. So the company, in my opinion, is lost. And I've said this in many, many videos before. They are lost at the leadership level. There are likely leaders that want to make change, but Hans is not allowing it. And then if he agrees with some of the leadership, like for an example, if he now agrees with some of the changes that Sampath would like to make, he's not on board with all of it. I can guarantee it. There's going to be some things that he's going to shut down before those plans even come to the market. He's going to say, yeah, we'll do this, but not this. Right? And then if that's not successful, then, we will likely, in the next 8 to 9 months, we'll see Sampath leave the company, and then there's another empty slot at the consumer level for the CEO. Hans has to compete. Right? And it's as simple as that. I don't know how they do it. They can do it however they want to do it, but they got to compete. They can no longer just sit on their high horse and say that they're this high and mighty company. They have to compete now. Right? And eventually, if they let it linger on long enough, Eventually, they will have to drop pricing closer to T-Mobile. As the market continues shrinking for them, as they start losing share, they will have to buy that share back. And the promos aren't helping them. They're going to have to buy that share back by dropping pricing to around T-Mobile or maybe even lower. That's what's going to end up happening. And that's a position that the board and the investors should not allow Verizon to be in. They should have made change long time ago. But now Verizon's perception is on the line because of the stubborn CEO that's in the spot right now. He is stubborn. I would tell that to his face. I've said it in previous videos. I will tell it to him on Twitter. He is a stubborn CEO that is not willing to change. I get the premium aspect. I understand it. But if you're looking at it from a premium perspective, right? If you are car buying and the car salesman tells you this is our premium top of the line model that costs X amount of dollars. That car, you're anticipating it for the money you pay for it. You expect that car to have features and that can do stuff that the mid trim or the low level trim is not going to be able to do. Right? So to kind of put that in perspective on wireless, right? If you put 3 iPhones next to each other, Verizon, T-Mobile, and AT&T, they can all do the same thing. There is no premium aspect on that sense of Verizon that if you're in a coverage area for all 3 carriers, that Verizon can do something magically that the other 2 iPhones won't be able to do. Right? And I know I'm simplifying that a lot, but it's that simple. Now, when it comes to areas that this, Verizon has service and the other 2 don't, maybe you can, excuse me, maybe you can make the argument at that point that, hey, this is where the premium pays off. But that's getting smaller each and every day. And T-Mobile is making sure that they're expanding the network. I'm seeing it at my job. T-Mobile hasn't had adequate service at the job site that I'm at for like 13 years. And now they're building a site there. And again, that's another area that Verizon is going to be, there's going to be coverage for all the carriers. So that narrative that, hey, we're premium, we have the better network, that narrative is not going to last much longer. So they have to figure it out. I still maintain the position it's going to take new leadership. It's going to take a new CEO, and it's going to take everybody to mesh at the executive levels, all on the same sheet of music, coming up with a plan on how they can get the message across. Now, I still believe that Verizon has the better network, but the whole premium narrative, I don't think they can push. They just can't push it, right? There's a certain level where the returns are just diminishing, even on millimeter wave, right? If you're on the millimeter wave connection on Verizon that does 3 gigs, 3 gigs on that connection, and you're on the AT&T and T-Mobile regular connection that's not millimeter wave, you might, there's a strong possibility that you can download a file faster on that millimeter wave connection or stream something faster. But if you're looking at it overall, if somebody calls that phone, it's still going to answer the same as on another carrier. Right? And again, I'm simplifying that, but in some cases it's really that simple. Now, if you need to download a 3-hour movie on Netflix in an instant, then that millimeter wave connection is going to serve you the best. But that's not the majority. There's no way. That's not how wireless should be viewed. Millimeter wave has its place. It's going to work. It's going to do its job. But if you're looking at it from a business standpoint, objectively, it's not going to get Verizon to that growth that they want to get to. They need to grow. Their revenues are down. Why is that? It's not because they're the cheapest carrier. they're the most expensive. It's because they're dropping share. Those customers that were once with Verizon are now no longer with Verizon, and they're not paying them. So that money is going somewhere else. And like I said in previous videos, the customers that are going to MVNOs, people are saying, oh yeah, Verizon is still getting revenue off of those customers, so that's fine. But that's not the same amount that they were taking when they were with Verizon directly. So as Verizon sheds share to cable that are on their network, yeah, they're getting revenue from that, but it's far less than what they were getting when that customer was actually with Verizon postpaid directly. So that's a loss in revenue on its own. And they probably at that time, they lost that entire account to a cable company. So they're still making money from it, but it's far less than what they were making, as I said, when that family was with Verizon postpaid directly. So again, the path for Verizon is grim. Churn is up. It seems to be elevating a bit every quarter. They said at the quarterly earnings that at the beginning of the quarter, that's what I was told. That's what I've been telling in the videos. It was the churn was elevated much higher, but then it kind of slowed down, right? In Q2, churn is already up again, right? The economy is getting worse, it seems. So people are going to look for a better option, more budget oriented. They're going to look at the MVNOs even more as the economy goes down. They're going to look at T-Mobile. They're going to look at the ones that are positioned by perception with value. And by perception, Verizon is perceived to be the most expensive. So again, the next chapter of wireless growth for Verizon is it's either flat or they're going to take a loss until they change leadership. The CEO has to go, Hans Vestberg. He has to go. He has to go on that stage. He has to say, my bad. I did not make the necessary moves to bring us back to momentum on growing. And I have to take that L. He has to take it on the chin, and he has to go. He just has to go. So let me know what you think about that in the comment section down below. Look forward to reading all your comments. Make sure you guys stay tuned to the channel for more. Like, share, subscribe. Follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Life. See y'all in the next one. Peace.